Welcome back to the Just Jenna podcast. Today, I get to interview a dear friend of mine and someone I have known for, at least 6 or 7 years now. And her name is Britt Blanco. Welcome to the show, Britt. We're so excited to have
Thank you.
you.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Okay. So, my audience, probably a lot of them don't know who you are. So, why don't we do a quick introduction first? What inspired you to get into the online world? For those that don't know, Britt has scaled a brand to over 1 million followers now. We'll drop her handle below so you guys can check her out. But I'd love for you to share with our listeners today, like what inspired you to even get onto Instagram and start making content and eventually now coaching people like you're doing in the fitness world.
I was a stay-at-home mom for the most part. I did, a little bit of real estate here and there. My profession prior was law enforcement and fire, and then I had 3 children. So moved to Idaho and just was staying at home, doing the mama thing, which I absolutely love, but I knew that that wasn't like my soul calling forever. And trying to find what I love, which I've always loved fitness. Like that's part of who I am. A huge part of, fire and law enforcement, just being physically fit. I'm competitive, things like that. I was just honestly one day on the Peloton, and this ad kept coming up, buy this to make money online, like make money online. I have financial freedom now. And this is the ad that I saw. I have financial freedom. I get to stay at home with my kids. I love what I do. Click this link to be a part of it. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That's a scam. I know it when I see one. And that came up a lot, until this one day in the morning. It was probably 5 o'clock in the morning. I was on the Peloton and I'm like, why don't I just click it? Like, I know that I should be doing more than being just a stay-at-home mom. I want to contribute more to my household. I want to make more money. I want to be financially free and not stressed anymore. Let's just do it. So I clicked the link as I'm riding the bike. $7 course, affiliate marketing. Didn't even know what that was, to be honest. And I'm like, what's $7? Like, let's just do it. And I, in that moment, told myself, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to do this entire course and I'm going to learn. And I guess I have to make an Instagram now about this. And the rest is history. Now, to answer your first question, who inspired me? You did. You didn't really say, but I was your neighbor and I saw you grow your Instagram. And you had an Instagram, but grew it significantly since meeting you, and more in the real estate, learn how to build your social media online. And I'm like, okay, if Jenna can do it, it's not a scam. Like I could do this. Jenna's doing this. She's being financially free. She's helping support her family and being able to do all this cool stuff. Like I can do this too. And so I was like, it can't be a scam. So did it. And I mean, the rest is history. Obviously, I've changed niches since then, and now I'm in the fitness industry.
Yeah, that's so good. And for those that are listening, I got to be from a unique vantage point, I guess you could say, during the process that most people don't get to experience when someone is building their brand. And so, what was really cool is, yes, we were next door neighbors for several years, and that's how we originally met. And I'll never forget, it was really easy to just like pop over to their house or they'd come over to ours or whatever. Like half the time I needed an ingredient that we seemed to always run out of and they always had. So, like, I would go over to their house and I'll just never forget, like, it's so important that people hear this because a lot of the listeners that will listen to this, they want to build an online brand. They want to start posting, but like they've been too scared. And it's been years because I've been doing this podcast for a couple years now. And so people are like, seriously, what is holding me back? Why have I not done this? And so these stories can be very encouraging for them to finally take action. So let me paint a picture for you. I go over to their house one day and I'm hearing this alarm go off on Britt's phone. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what is she doing? And she's like, she's got 3 kids, some of them are crying. She's like over in the light, like filming something, probably mid content creation. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, it's 12 o'clock. Like I have to post. And I'm like, okay. And so she starts telling me every single day she has an alarm that would go off. Am I right about this part? Morning, I think it was like 8 a.m., 12, and then sometime in the evening. So 3 times a day, would not miss a beat. Like, would not miss a beat. It was like she was taking this so seriously. And this is the part that I'm so passionate about your story because Like, how much money were you making the first couple months when you were posting 3 times a day?
I made $0.
Okay. Okay, louder for the people in
I
the back. I'm
absolutely
just
made
kidding.
none, and I was stressed about it. Do you remember me asking you, like, "This is not working. I don't think this is working." Yeah.
Yes, and also, then you would make a few sales, like, you did start to get sales, and I remember you would get some commissions or affiliates, and, like, it would come in, and it could be, like, $100 or a couple $100 in a day, but I guess my big question to you in this moment right now, for someone who's in that spot, what made you keep going? Like, why did you keep going? How come you didn't give up when it was slow for you to grow for a while?
So a few things. That moment on the bike when I decided like I was gonna go all in, I like made a promise to myself, like I'm gonna go all in on this. And because I had throughout my life done things and like not given it 100%. I find myself like a very disciplined person. I am, but I kept like like not giving it my all. And so this one I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna like give up on this, even those times that I wasn't making money. I just kept telling myself like it's gonna pay off. It has to pay off. It worked for Jenna. It has to pay off. Like it worked for these other people in the affiliate market world at the time. It's gonna pay off. And I do remember making my first sale and it was $2 of a commission on Christmas. And I was like, it's $2. I was like, "It's happening. It's happening right now. I just did it." And so, like, that's what drove me to keep going because I saw that and, like, it was almost like a mindset shift of, like, "I can do this," and then it just skyrocketed from there. I mean, because I started an Instagram with nothing. Like, it was a brand new Instagram with no followers. Didn't even know how to make a reel. Please don't go back and look at my first reels. They're still there, but you guys would laugh. But, um I just kept posting 3 times a day, and I told myself, "I will not deviate from that." And to this day, I have never missed posting 3 times a day. So, I mean, what I tell people that, start this in any type of niche on, like, a social media platform, commit to something that you know that you can do and stay consistent with it, whether that's 1 time a day, 2 times a day, 3 times a day. I have an old mentor of mine that does 8 times a day. That's something I know I couldn't do, so I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself, but when I laid that out, like, that was there was no turning back. Now, life changes also happened where we can get into, but, which made me not give up more, but it's just having discipline and believing that you can make anything happen.
Wow, that's so powerful. And it's that level of commitment. I recognize the same thing it's the same pattern in my life too, where I try to tell my students it's like it's a non-negotiable. And when you treat it like a job, like a business, like a career, it pays you like one eventually, right? It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so you pivot. Okay, so that was like, I don't know, maybe was it about a year? I feel like I'm probably butchering that timeline, 6 months before you
It
pivoted to
was it was,
fitness.
like, a little less than a year, yep.
Yeah. So a little less than a year, you make the pivot and you're doing well with affiliate marketing, but you go all in on fitness and health content. And from there, how do you feel like it grew a lot faster once you were like in your lane, or did it still feel like it was stalling for a bit where you're like, gosh, how long is this going to take to really take off?
I was nervous that switching niches would, like, even hurt my Instagram just because of, like, following, and people followed me for that. It honestly didn't. And at the time, I had, grown my account to a couple 100,000, I believe, followers. It didn't hurt them at all, but it didn't generate sales right away.
Wow.
That took some soul searching, I'll be very honest, because I knew I did a hard pivot to fitness, and, like, that was it, but it was a couple months of not making barely any money. I had some low ticket things that I was making money on, but I'm like, "Why isn't this working?" I had to dig deep to figure out, like, what was wrong, and then that was the pivotal moment of my, like, actual big career.
So the other thing that I want to talk about as we're kind of going in this timeline of you, there's a couple things. Two things that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about life in general and how it's going to throw you curveballs and some of the things that you had to face and still have to face. I think it's important. You can touch on it as much or as little as you want, but I think it's important to share that like we're all going through stuff and still finding a way to be this consistent. Like, honestly, if you know more of Britt's story, you'd realize that you probably don't have an excuse of time. You just you make it a priority when it's important to you. And then I think after that, I want to touch a little bit on some leverage and how you were able to like grow even more from there. So, first, what would you like to share with the listener if you're open to sharing anything about like just transitioning into this and doing this full time and having like a lot of disruptions and life throwing you, hardships along the way?
What I've learned through, especially the last few years, is life is never going to be calm. It's never going to be a good time. I mean, they tell you that having a kid, like, wait till the right time. It's never the right time. And there's always going to be something that comes up. And whether that's daily, like small things, or like, you know, big life decisions, it's going to happen, and we can try to shield ourselves as much as we want from that. But sometimes it's inevitable. I went through a pretty hard divorce around the same time. So I had grown, switched niches, and that's kind of the height of my divorce. And again, I have three littles. So that makes it even more difficult. So in juggling that and my children, and also not having a stable place to live or a stable income, is what really drove me inside. Because like, before, when I started this, I was still married, I had a house, I had income. So, like, yeah, I didn't want to give up, and I was disciplined. But now I had no there was no failing. That was off the table. And I tell everybody this now, my clients included: you have to take failure off the table. Quitting is not an option in my book. And I like for fitness, like, quitting's not an option. Take it out, because then we're just going to start over every single Monday. And I'm sure you've probably done that sometime in your life where you're like, oh, I'll just start over again. I had to feed my children. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I mean, and like friends know here, like, that was my only option. And it was hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I made fitness my personal, I had to get that done so I could show up for them. So, it's a lot of
Yes.
people in my industry, it's selfish. They think, taking care of yourself is selfish. It's not. You have to take care of yourself so you can show up the best you can for your family, for your kids. And so, anyways, that was my business. And through the hard times, I had to figure out what was not working so I could make this happen. And I mean, I'm grateful to be here to tell you that it did. And I mean, it's still a business, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. And the one thing that I think a lot of people that are listening to that have done the online business, or some of them are real estate agents that are still wearing so many hats. I think this is another question I wanted to ask you about, because this podcast interview is a little bit different than others because I know Britt a lot more personally and professionally. And so I'm able to just have a different perspective. But one thing that I admired so much about her is that pretty early on, it seemed like as she was growing, um, she brought in outside help. And that's something that I want to talk a little bit about with the listeners today, too, who still feel like, okay, I am doing it and maybe I'm stuck at 10K months or 20K months or whatever they're at financially. And they're like, I can't seem to break past that to really uh turn this from like a decent paying job to a true business that could run if I'm gone for the day or I'm out or I'm at Disneyland with my kids. Like, that is the dream, right? That we all want. And so what made you, be okay with like losing some of that control, you would say, to bring people in?
I think I got to a place where um I I wanted to hire people, and hiring isn't the right word, but bring on people onto my team that I know knew that space that I wasn't, an expert in. So, I mean, the first
Yep.
person besides mentors and, business
Yeah.
professionals that came in, was a VA, and she had experience doing VA work, and she was like, I could do these canvas, and I can help you with this and this. And I'm like, oh my
Yep.
gosh, now I don't have to do that. I could focus my attention and what I'm good at onto something else.
Exactly. And it's hard because it's like this short-term pain of training someone or having to see more money go out the window. but, like, the long-term reality of it is there's so much more growth and so many more people you can help. Okay, so speaking of the people that you help, we'll just touch on this real briefly. What would you say is like something that you guys do in one of your offers that really has been like transformative? You don't have to share like details on it, but just maybe something that you've been really lit up about, whether it was like a digital product or an offer that's just been really fun and exciting, or you've seen like clients get really good results from.
So I have like a slew of offers from low ticket, digital products to what I do, like my bread and butter, which is my coaching. I have different levels of coaching, if you will. My biggest one is just my, VIP coaching, custom training, custom nutrition, basically transforming the clients and helping them reach their goals. It is so cool to see. And like you said, I have a lot of help now, not just one VA. So I have coaches on my team. I have a sales team, marketing. And so you can get lost in the mix, especially from the day to day. But I do, Zoom calls, live Zoom calls with all my clients. I send voice notes. I do special guests. It's really cool for clients to come in, talk to me face to face, and like hear from them personally. And I'm sure like that's what you
Yeah.
probably love too. But like seeing the weight loss, seeing them hit their goals. And actually one does come to mind. Her name's Tara, and I'm so proud of her. Like she started, gosh, 6 plus months ago, and her goal was to lose weight and to get into like a good weight to get pregnant. And she came to me after like the 6 months, maybe a little later, and she was like, she not only did she lose over 30 pounds, but she is pregnant. And I'm like, that is so
Oh,
it's so awesome to see because, it just getting to her to a healthy weight that she can feel comfortable to have like a healthier pregnancy and all
yeah.
of that. So, it's so inspiring to see and everybody comes from a different, journey or pathway. And so really, and that's the thing is like really digging into each individual person and like, what's your why? And a lot of it has to do with mindset. I know that I have like a fitness offer, but it like goes back to our mindset and how to like attack that.
It's so good. I feel like that alone, people probably get tired of me talking about it on my coaching calls, but it's so pivotal in the whole thing. Like, if you don't have the right mindset, like you're either going to give up, you're going to fall off, you're going to get distracted. Like, there's just so many variables in business, in health, in our everything we do. Like, our mindset plays such a big role in that. So, I couldn't agree more. Okay. So for someone, I usually keep these episodes around 20 minutes. So we'll wrap this up here quickly, but I just wanted to say for someone listening today who's like, "Okay, Britt, you've totally inspired me." Um if you were in their shoes, is there anything you would do differently, or is there any, like, one piece of advice that you would give them if they're like, "I've been kinda sitting on the sidelines and watching someone like Jenna or Britt for a couple years now, and I'm kinda kicking myself that, like, I've made every excuse in the book to get started," whether that's losing weight or, building a social media brand, right? Like, either one, like, is there a piece of advice or something that you wish someone told you when you were getting started?
I would say, and I've heard this before a lot, and I start saying it now, like, do it scared, do it tired, do it overwhelmed, do it when chaos is happening. You just have to make the decision to do it. And like you said, that goes for like a blanketed statement across the board. So for anybody who's like looking to start a social media or look in real estate, in affiliate marketing and coaching, just do it. You can't care what people think. You can't care about looking dumb or whatnot. I mean, of course my content's different than an influencer's content. That's different than your content. And I hear it time and time again, people are gonna come to you because of you, and you don't wanna pretend that you're somebody else because that's not gonna last. You're not gonna I mean, you can only fake it for so long. So, I would tell somebody to go all in, and again, like I said, take failure and quitting off the table. You can do hard things. It's all about prioritizing what's important to you and really truly knowing your why. Why am I doing this? Why did I start a social media business? Why do I wanna help people? What do I wanna leave this world with? What do I want to show my kids? Because I mean, as you know, like being in the social media like industry, our kids are watching us film and they think it's funny. They're like, here's the camera. Let me help you. Let me do my own podcast. And because I see your kids do it too. My kids like grab the mic and I'm like, this is my business, and I think it's so awesome for them to see like what we've done, but we're also able to just, it gives us so much freedom once you finally, realize you can do this and stay home with your kids and your family. And I mean, Y
It's the
yeah,
best
and
thing
another
ever.
thing is, like, truly being where I'm at right now, I truly 100% believe anything is possible. If I were to tell you that I thought I would be here when I first started with you, I would have laughed in your face. I had a business person that was like, "You're gonna hit 1,000,000 followers." I was like, "Absolutely, no, I'm not." And then I did. I'm like, Anything is possible." So, if you think it's too far, it's a too far of a stretch, you can't make that $10,000 a month. You can't make that $100,000 a month. You can't get the 1,000,000 followers, you can. You just have to believe in yourself.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, Britt. You've come so far. Like, it's so, so, so
I know,
crazy.
and
That's
I
so
do wanna
cool.
say thank you, and I think I try to tell you and Andrew as much as I can that, like, if it honestly weren't for you being a friend next door, I would have thought it was a scam, and I just would have never done it, and it's so great to see how far you and your family have come, and I'm so grateful to be where I am here with my family, so, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. Well, I just so appreciate you showing up today. And last question is, where can people find you if my audience is listening and like I would love to connect with Brynn, check out her stuff? Where's the best way for them to connect with you
My
online?
Instagram's the best, just built.by.brit.
Perfect. Okay, we'll drop it below in the show notes as well. Thanks for
Thanks,
being
Jenna.
on today.